Everybody, thank you for attending the Westmarch July BoD meeting. We are on the second half of the year. Everybody give yourself a silent sigh of relief and a mild applause for all the effort that you've done. We have some new members in the meeting. We have some great people attending. We are going to do a call to order of this meeting. May I ask for a call to order? Technically, this would come from the president or CEO.
I would like to call this meeting to order, please.
I order a meeting.
There we go. I will second that. Now we're going to go to the roll call. This would be done by our secretary normally. Chris, are you driving at the moment?
Just got done parking, so I could do your roll call.
I will let you do that if you wish. I can do it if it's easier for me to do it, whichever you prefer.
It's okay. All right. Monarchy, you here?
Vague.
Yes, I am here.
All right. Presidency, you here?
Brian will let us hear.
All right. Vice President, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All righty. We got Secretary. I'm here. Woohoo! New Prime Minister.
Present.
Old Prime Minister, I hear you're here.
Yes, I am.
All right. We have alternates. Are you here?
We currently do not have an alternate because they were promoted to vice president. That is
Okay.
very relevant, actually.
That leaves us with our treasurer. Are you here? I heard you were
Present.
here. All right. Liaison. Are you here?
Present.
All right. I believe any guests?
Hello.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm
I'm a
here.
guest, so
All right. That concludes it for the attendance.
All right,
Thank you.
hold on. We got another here. Alex Garcia.
Jody,
okay,
what
there
is
we go.
what is your last name again?
Van Tyne.
Thank you. And then is it Alex Stender? Is that correct?
No, Garcia.
Thank you. Oh, Alex,
We have
thank you
two
for
Alexes.
attending. And then we have another Alex in here as well. Which one is it?
Stender.
Thank you. Awesome. I'm just going to take a look through the list. There's everybody muted, not paying attention. That's usually me. Alan Wong, the man, the myth, the legend is here.
I did say something. That's on you.
I acknowledge it freely. I acknowledge it
I know.
freely. I've been through a lot today, but I'm fine. There you go.
A lot
I'm
of
just here to
eating.
give you shit.
We also have a Royce G.
He doesn't count for anybody.
Okay.
Theos, thank you for being here. Okay, so do we have anybody who would like the reading of the last minutes held in June, or would we like to approve them as listed in the Discord and CAM card?
I motion to approve both the June minutes and the special session minutes.
Seconded.
Our vice president has seconded this. I am going to third it most vigorously. Is everybody okay with that process? Perfect.
Let's actually have an actual vote for approving the Wells Fargo minutes.
That is a very good point. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Say here for yes, or no for no, or abstain if you so desire. Ethan Kopich.
Yes, approve.
I approve as Brian Ouellette. Athena Velasco.
Here.
Secretary Chris.
Approve.
Attendee Elizabeth Stanton.
Yes.
Prime Minister James Anderson, outgoing.
Yes.
Treasurer Andrew Brown.
Yes, approve.
Person who just shows up, Ben Smith.
Yeah, I showed up.
There we go. All right. The minutes, Wells Fargo minutes approved. There we go. All All right, we're going to move on to the July agenda. We have a fine individual here named Alan Wong. Alan, would you like to take over any updates on FOG? There was a post on the Westmarch Facebook page, I think yesterday.
Yep, I called the Parks Department. They're extremely busy right now, which is why we haven't heard back from them. But they will. I asked them the questions regarding the security per our last conversation in June, and off the top of the secretary who I'm in contact with, Sabrina, she says that because it's a special event, we are able to use our own security. But she's going to double
Yeah.
check. She's going to double check with her boss, Donna, which we have contact with before in the past. So because of this, I think we're also going to go ahead and ask for the quote for the additional insurance for the alcohol permit that we need. So I think we need some, we sent them email back. We have a quote from the insurance, but they did not include the alcohol insurance with it. So with the help of Brian, since I was away at Clan, he emailed them back asking if it was included in the insurance quote. And I do not, after looking through it, I do not believe it was included. So we'll follow up with another email
Alan,
to him.
Can
Yeah.
I interject briefly there? And I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
I got a message back from Thad. It says, apologies, not sure why it's been removed. As a quick FYI, just because it isn't checked doesn't mean it's not included. All our host policies include host liquor liability, regardless of box being checked. That quote, or 450, I think it was, includes the liquor.
Okay. So let me see what, because I believe they require a certificate of alcohol or something, that as long as it has their name on it, I think we have to submit that as well. So I'll follow up with Tad on that, just to see what else we need. And then if that's good to go, then yeah, I'll submit. I'll ask for the. I believe we can just pay online, so I'll ask for the credit card from the PM, the current PM, right? That would be Liz. Is that correct? Okay.
Or
or me.
And then,
treasurer.
or treasurer. Okay. And then we'll also we'll probably be, since I did submit the application, so we'll have to pay by check to the office, which I will come just to make sure everything's in order. I'll come collect the check from whoever, and I'll bring it to them myself because I have time. Other than that, I did make sure the site has been reserved. So the camping grounds has been reserved, the Deanza building is reserved. So once they get back to us on the quote, I will let the treasurer and or PM know, and they can write me a check to give to the Parks Department. And I also did make sure to, I did send an email regarding the questions around security and the alcohol permit. And so I asked her to respond to it as soon as she is available. And once they that, I will submit that to the BoD as well as Westmarch, so they have a copy of any questions that we have regarding around the site for the future. So
Forward the email from Thad to them where it says that it includes the liquor liability. See if that works.
yeah, I'll see, because they said they needed a specific permit thing, but I will give them a call in a couple of days, just to kind of go over what we need exactly, because we do need to pay an additional like $50, I think, to the Parks Department themselves for the permit. And then once we receive an email back from Sabrina and Donna confirming that we can use our own security as we are a special event, then I'll go forward with that. But that was the main hesitation of, because just in case we needed to go to a different site or something, why the hesitation on the invites have been late. But other than that, is there any questions regarding around the insurance or the additional costs or the?
I do have one question. Does this policy, like both our insurance and the Monterey Parks Department, is it just for beer and wine, or does it also include the other types of liquor that are out there?
That I'm not sure, but I can follow up with, because essentially what they told me was that bringing your own alcohol is considered serving. So I
So
miss. So
Andy's
from what?
Milan's highlighting there the liquor liability, and that to specifically to me means things harder than beer and wine.
Yes, I completely agree. The fact that it says liquor there, why poke the beast on that one?
I'm asking because I was trying to remember the exact wording on the Monterey County website, so I wanted to make sure that all ducks in a row across all of our paperwork that we're covered in every direction.
Absolutely.
I can take a look, if you give me a second on it, because she did send me the permit.
I'd like to mention while he's looking that up, the insurance is about $100 more, but this is also 2 more days and includes liquor liability. The event helper has been good to us for the past 2 years, and I encourage to get a quote from him for any insurance needs that we do. He's been very kind to us and responds to all of our nuanced questions.
Okay, I'm gonna forward my email from the Parks Department to Brian right now, which includes the rules and the sample of what they're looking for.
Are you sending it to my Gmail?
Yes, to your Gmail.
I'm refreshing. If the monarch requests that we follow up on what the definition of liquor is, I think that's basically mandated. So let's make sure that we follow up.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we can follow it up next month if it's gonna, if we can't do it right now.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be right now. He's probably home for the day. All right, here's the email from Sabrina Guzman. Alan, go through this.
So if you go all the way down, should be an attachment. Yeah, there's the parks and use facility. There's their policy, and then there's the sample certificate that they're looking for.
Perfect. Send us to that,
So
and
so
we'll go
yeah, because I think if we scroll, there's some part that says require certificate of insurance.
I would assume that's just our insurance, but let's see here. Submit with application, valid photo ID, overconsumption, alcohol, da 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 da. Huh. This certainly doesn't. I could be missing it. I think we're golden.
Scroll slightly further and it talks about security. Okay, yeah, no, so
Can
and
you
then
do a
there's the
quick
numbers
control
about the
F?
guard and the supervisor.
Yeah, but if I think Sabrina is going to talk to Donna, which we've had contact in the past. Donna's her boss, and she's going to make sure that since we are a special event, we can have our own volunteer security team, as long as we
So
adhere to
what
their
I meant by that is, do
policies.
we have enough members with guard cards to be able to meet those requirements?
I think what she meant was like I don't think we need someone with a
Oh,
guard card. Yeah.
okay.
And if we do need someone with a guard card, I do have a friend who does have a guard card.
I have
Yeah.
a husband with one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I remember it being brought up that some have, but if we don't need
Yeah.
it, then that simplifies.
Yeah. And he is also technically, because he does work for a security company, he is technically a supervisor, I believe. So, but yeah, I will make sure when once they're done being busy, they had a lake closure, so they had all those canceled invites, and then they had to reopen, and then so they're super swamped right now. And so I will follow up with them at the end of the week, just to see if they've taken a look at my email and stuff like that, and they require anything else. But we can also send the certificate of liability insurance that's in the second part of the email. That's what I think they require.
I'm going to bring that back over. And we're going to close this. We're going to go down here to here's the sample certificate.
Yeah,
Certificate of liability insurance. This is what
But
we
I-
get when we get the quote from them. This is what they give us.
Oh, okay. So I think I think we just need to tell them that the insurance, the liquor is on there as well, and see if that satisfies their need for a permit.
Yep.
That's a
I think
pretty
this is
standard
gonna be,
certificate, so it should be pretty easy to get them to put it on there.
I can actually show you exactly what it's going to look like right now. I'm bringing this over. This is the proposal, and it's the exact same thing. It's going to look exactly like the sample thing that they need. It's just going to be instead of proposal, it'll be actual insurance.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
so
wouldn't be
I'll-
surprised if we could get an accord certificate from them as well, because like the accord certificate is like a standard insurance certificate.
And it sounds like that's pretty helpful.
Dun, dun, dun. Here is the certificate of liability insurance we got for last Dark Shore in 2023, and it's from the event helper, and this is what it looks like.
And it has
Oh.
host liquor liability on there. Go back up to the top.
Yeah, host and retail liquor liability.
Oh,
So
they need to get checked.
Oh.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, I think we just didn't know that we had to apply for a permit as well.
Yeah.
Which is just additional.
And Alan, you said you wanted a check to pay the Parks Department earlier. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I don't think we can, since I submitted the application via email. In the past, we sent them a check. I don't think we can pay online. So, or I don't know if I could get the.
I seem
mean,
to
I guess-
recall we can pay online, but they charge an extra fee for it.
Yeah, so if we do it through online, we can't, what will happen is we'll have to pay the security deposit on the De Anza building every day that we're renting it out. But if we talk to if we apply directly through the Parks Department, they will only charge us the security deposit for the entire event. And usually as well, given that we don't use 2 of those days, so it would be Wednesday and Sunday, we would still have to rent it out technically, since we're there till at least, Wednesday at 2 and then Sunday till noon, right? When to kick everyone out, we'd still have to rent it technically for those days, and we would have to pay extra money. But since we've been working with the Parks Department for so long, they usually will give us those extra days off, so we don't have to pay for Wednesday and Sunday for the additional days. So,
So I think we're talking about slightly different things here about paying online. We didn't actually pay online in the past. We paid by credit card over the phone.
oh, okay.
But I'm
there
totally
is a
willing
way to
to
pay online that we were looking into.
right.
Oh, okay.
I'm totally willing to get a check cut, because getting a check cut is like $10, whereas paying that fee is like, I think last time it was like $80.
Okay.
And so even if I mail it to you registered mail, we're not going to spend $80.
Yeah. I can when I talk to them next time, I'll see what they prefer. So,
Perfect.
and yeah, that's pretty much my update for Fog, other than
When do they need to be paid by?
One,
before the event, I think, happens itself.
I'm really lucky right now. I'm gonna ask you a quick question because I have 2 prime ministers in the room. Prime ministers, this is coming out of the event account fund. Do we need to have an Alden to approve this funding?
It's already approved as part of the bid.
If the bid is approved by the monarchy, we are supposed to audit everything for Dark Shore and audit for Feast of the Gods, but we do not vote.
Right. Anything that was approved on a bid is already approved. We don't need to do any more.
Perfect,
Correct.
sounds good. Thank you very much.
We can interject and make recommendations, but the board of directors cannot specifically say this, you can't hold Dark Shore or anything like that. We'll see what happens with the
We
new
can just
quorum.
dissolve the corporation and then you can't hold Dark Shore.
Seconded.
Well, no. Specifically, if there was like any liability to the company, the board of directors could step in and change that. But they could
Like
say
if there
for
were issues
liability
with
reasons.
alcohol.
Yeah, like if there was a exposure to the corporation that could potentially put us liable or at a problem, then the BOD would step in and say, like, we can't do this. But I wanted to make sure that we were following the corporate right. I just don't have it in front of me.
I can confirm that this is being done correctly in the moment. We are supposed to technically audit the bid and audit the audit at the end of everything, which we are going to do in this meeting for Dark Shore, actually, and which is why we're having these conversations about FOG, which we don't have to really do much about because Alan is so forthcoming with everything and gives us all the information we need. Thank you for what you do, and I'm very excited to go to FOG this year.
I thought we audited Dark Shore last meeting.
Yes, there's just a brief follow-up on that I have because I'm so nitpicky.
I motion to table this discussion about fog for next meeting.
Seconded. Does anybody else have any questions for Alan? Otherwise, Alan, you're welcome to dip or hang out with us, and I hope you hang out. Crack a Frosty Boy or something. Okay, trailer contract. Thank you, Ben, for writing up a trailer storage contract. I have it right here in front of me. If you can't read it, please let me know. I'll enlarge this just a little bit. This has been posted in the Westmarch Discord for, I'll say, a month. It's been less than a month, but pretty darn close. We've made several changes to it, thanks to the people who read it and put back recommendations. I'm going to read through it right now, and at the end, I'm going to do a roll call vote. Before we do the roll call vote, if there's anything you want me to change, I can type it in right here. So, trailer storage contract, Amtgard, Kingdom of Westmarch, hereafter Westmarch, and Ginger Conrad, who is not in this meeting, hereby agree to the following terms and conditions. Westmarch will rent space sufficient to store one trailer at 2221 East Cypress Road, Oakley, California, blah, blah, blah. The storage unit will be used exclusively for the following vehicle: the trailer. The annual rental fee, let's see, we got a little chat in here. Please feel free to talk in. Approved, Ginger Conrad approved this contract already. I will say that on record, and she can tell me if it's something she disagrees with, but this has already been approved. Ethan, can you confirm that, please?
Give me one.
Perfect. Okay. The annual rental fee for the storage unit is $12. Payment shall be made annually by Westmarch each August. The contract is a year-long lease renewable upon mutual agreement. Westmarch may choose to procure and maintain insurance for the trailers stored in the union, covering damages, theft, and other risks if it is deemed necessary. Westmarch assumes full responsibility for any trailer liability. Westmarch agrees to indemnify and hold harmless Ginger Conrad from any liability arising from the stored trailer. I was a vocal individual that says we do not need to get insurance for the trailer. If anybody has a strong opinion about that, we can talk about that at another time or now. I'm going to move forward. Westmarch shall have access to the storage unit upon providing reasonable notice of at least 24 hours to Ginger Conrad. Ginger Conrad shall similarly provide notice of unavailability within a reasonable time frame. The storage unit is to be used solely for storing the trailer and its contents. Performing maintenance on the trailer within the storage unit requires prior approval from Ginger Conrad, with a notice period of no less than 1 week provided by Westmarch. Athena, I'm going to read that. I'm just going to finish reading this real quick and we'll make that change. In the event Westmarch fails to make payment by the specified date, Ginger Conrad may provide written or electronic notice of default. 30 days after such notice, if payment is not received, Ginger Conrad may consider the storage unit forfeited and repossess it to leasing to another party. This is the old contract. We changed this. We changed this to Ginger Conrad may request that the trailer be picked up by an eligible member of the Westmarch monarchy or designated affiliate. That was a change requested by Ethan. I made that change on another copy I apologize.
Yeah, you should probably change Westmarch Monarchy, by the way, to be like the Kingdom of Westmarch Inc. or something like that. Because this is the official contract.
By an eligible member of
You said at the
Amtgard.
beginning, so you said at the beginning that you're going to refer to it as Westmarch from here on out. So just say eligible member of Westmarch.
Perfect.
Or
Thank you very
eligible
much.
representative of Westmarch.
Thank
How about
you.
eligible officer?
There we go.
Eligible officer or of Westmarch or designated affiliate. Beauty. Y'all are amazing. Athena, if we could please correct the capitalization of address and VIN up here. Oh, that's right. Sorry. I'll get rid of that little. There we go. Perfect. All right.
Ha.
Na-na-na. Everybody, their capitalization. All right. Is that okay?
Almost. The VIN, if you just highlight it, there should be a function to make it uniform caps. So if you go up to where you can change the font, you can make them all the right caps.
Yes, yes, yes.
And there you go.
Thank you.
Jody, they are okay with their address being made public.
Yeah, I confirmed that with them.
So I'm going to say, I'm just going to put it in the chat. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jody, for confirming. All right. I have read through this. I will acknowledge that I read through it slightly fast. Does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to discuss about this trailer contract?
Where was the part where it was specifying the payment and how?
The annual rental fee for the storage unit is $12. Payment shall be made annually by Westmarch each August. This contract is a year-long lease, renewable upon mutual agreement.
Great.
Did we want to have a termination clause, or was that removed intentionally?
That was removed intentionally, I believe, because if we need to get back like even $11 from Ginger Conrad for storing the trailer, we're in very much worse straits than like we should be selling that trailer and using that to pay for it. At least in my opinion.
Oh, cool.
All right. So does anybody have any questions or any additional statements about the trailer storage contract?
I motion to approve the contract as written.
Seconded.
Thank you very much. I would like to take this moment to say welcome to BOD meetings, Elizabeth. You signed up for this. All right.
Can we get a roll call vote on that one?
Thank you, Ben. That's exactly what I was going to do, and I'm going to make you do it.
All right. CEO,
Approved.
CFO,
Approved.
President.
Hold on, James. You can't approve this. Didn't we just
Yeah, he
have a
still is for now. We didn't kick him out. We just said that we're going to kick him off Wells Fargo.
No, we made that decision in the previous meeting that he's no longer the CFO. So
That's
Elizabeth
technically
needs
he
to
is
vote
no
yes.
longer the CFO. He
I
is
asked for it as of date, so yeah, that's fine.
yeah, stop approving.
Incoming CFO.
Yes. Wait, there we go. Is it picking me up?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
President,
Abstain.
Vice President,
Approved.
Treasurer,
Approve.
Secretary,
Secretary approved.
and as liaison, I also approve.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that, guys. That was reasonably quick. Keep in mind, it is 7-Eleven right now. That means that we are less than 40.
And then could I also request that probably the easiest way is to have our CEO sign that with Ginger?
Yes,
We can do that.
there are two sections that must be signed. They can be e-signed or wet signed. We don't care as long as they're signed in some capacity. I
Since
will
the
be
two
sending
are close, that would make it easy to wet sign them.
Perfect. I will send this to Ethan at the end of the meeting so as to not delay things. All right, we are less than 45 minutes into this meeting. We are cooking with gas. All right. Trailer licensing update and discussion. Right now, the individual who has possession of the trailer and the trailer permit is Ginger Conrad. Do we know if Ginger Conrad has taken the trailer permit to the DMV yet?
1 second. They have not.
Has the trailer permit been taken to the DMV yet to get it switched into Westmarch's name?
No.
That's okay. So I'm going to type this in during the discussion time, but what we need to do is we need to take it to the DMV. Any representative of Westmarch can put this in Westmarch's name. Here's the catch. If we mail it to the official
Okay.
address,
So Ginger is saying that they're waiting on official Westmarch information so they can take it to the DMV and get all the paperwork filled out.
perfect. Here is how that needs to be done. We have to put, if we're going to put Westmarch's name on it, we have to put Westmarch address. Because we use iPostal, it's going to be imaged to the Westmarch email inbox. They'll say, do you want a copy of this, a tangible copy? There's going to be a $2 pickup fee. And this will be the first time we've ever actually received a piece of mail. So somebody's going to have to man the Westmarch mail in Gmail inbox. And we're going to have to say, yes, we want to pick it up. It's going to have to be picked up at like a Staples. There's a designated places for pickup, and it's either a UPS store or a Staples or a FedEx or something, a postal annex. But you'll be able to set that up through the iPostal account as to where you want to pick up the piece of mail. There will be a cost.
Even if we pick it up the standard one that it's supposed to go to anyways?
If we're going to register it in Westmarch's name, the address that we put on there should match what Amtgard Kingdom of Westmarch actual address is.
Sure.
So I assume the
But-
DMV is going to mail it to the
Can we
iPostal.
not use, since we used Andy's for Wells Fargo, can we not use that for this?
So we set up the iPostal as the official corporate location to pick up the mail. And the thing that we found when we did our test piece is that no matter where we wanted, they charge $2.50 to forward it, basically. That there
Right.
is no default location. To, like, go pick-
$2.50?
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Because I mean, I literally was next door to the pickup location an hour ago. Well, 2 hours ago.
Perfect. As long as we know what's going on, the point of vocalizing this is getting it recorded, getting it in the notes so we know what we're doing, crossing the I's and dotting the T's. So as long as we know that's how it's going to work, make sure and disseminate information to Ginger Conrad and keep your eyes out because we will be getting a permit in the mail and that needs to be stored
Yeah.
somewhere safe.
Can you add 2 quick notes to this, that what Ginger needs is the name and the location for the DMV paperwork.
Andrew, can you get in contact with her since you'll be the one picking it up?
I mean, the name and location should be that PO box and Amtgard Kingdom of the Westmarch, right?
Yes. In that
Yes.
case, who would like to get that information to Ginger Conrad? Athena, go for it.
Oh, I had a question and I can wait, but would we feel it is secure and or appropriate to upload a scan of the permit to Westmarch documentation? Maybe just the Google Drive, not Facebook, good Lord.
I'm absolutely, yes. I would like to continue to make my monthly official statement that the faster that Amtgard gets off of Facebook, the better. But yes, uploading in the Westmarch Google Drive is a very smart idea. I genuinely mean that.
I agree. Yeah, and if you guys can just send it to me or to send that information, those 2 pieces of information to me, and I can get them to Ginger real easy.
Thank you. I'm going to
Because I'm gonna have
message
to see them for signing that contract anyway.
Ginger. Facebook. Remind me to send you address.
I motion to table this topic for next meeting.
Perfect. Does anybody have any other questions about the trailer licensing? All right, tabled to August. And everything after for old people like me that knows about it. All right. This is a question for, I believe, the board of directors. It does not have to be, and an acceptable answer can be no. Do we need to put in the Capora or somewhere else what can be stored in the trailer? Do we need to cover our backside in that capacity? Or
No. It is the region's job to maintain a list of all assets and where they are stored.
perfect. No, it's
Now,
the
technically, the
region's-
region is not an officer in the corporation, so
works great
Oopsie.
for me.
And the BOD doesn't care about our equipment, so it works.
It's a very personal insult, Thistledown.
All right. I love it. We're golden
Next week
there.
I won't be BOD.
What? Oh, that's James. I thought Ethan said that for a second. I was like, wait, what? No. Okay, in that case, do I have a motion to move on from this trailer storage blurb on taking stuff away from the region?
I motion to close this item.
Yay! Make it die. All right. 501c3 update from Milan. That is me. Hello, everybody. So in May of 2024, we submitted the 501c3 documents. It should have been submitted in March, but I ran into fun little life issues and I apologize profusely. That being said, we finally submitted the 501c3. Thank you to the people that did help. I'm going to look at Ben, James, Andrew, and Ethan for helping me write that up. This is the information that we have. If you submitted on or before December 7th, 2023, about 191 days. If you submitted after December 7th, 2023, I tried to call the IRS this morning to try and get an update. Unfortunately, my lunch period was over before the hold time went through. I should have called earlier. I didn't. I did call at 7 in the morning, but they were closed until 8 o'clock, which is when I start work. So I apologize. I was not able to get in contact. I should have called last week. I didn't.
They don't run off of Eastern time?
Because I'm Pacific, they said local time. So I'm sure I could have called an East Coast number or maybe used a VoIP
Okay.
to hide, to mask or whatever, but I didn't. I will call and I will get an update. I'm sure the update is going to be suck it up. When I talked to them last time, they said it was 6 months.
Especially
So
considering the part where it says don't contact us at this time.
as a bard, I don't listen to those things. All right.
Oh, we know.
Yes. So that is the update. I wish I had better information. I think the funny part of all of this is that potentially 6 months from now, which will be November, we might get our 501c3 right after Ethan leaves office. And I think there's something magical about that. All right. So moving on, we're going to go to the next topic. Because does anybody have any questions about the 501c3 before we move on?
sounds reasonable.
All right, we're going to move on. Bear or Chris, are you here? And would you like to talk about the 501c3 research from May?
Yeah, I'm still here. I think I got about like 7 minutes, so I'll probably only need half of that. Hi everyone. So Ethan and I went and tag teamed and listened to a presentation from one of my colleagues from the Sacramento History Museum that involves information on how to obtain like donations or grants, since we're going to be upgrading our nonprofit. Some of the things that would attract people to give money to organizations, in this case, we want them to come to ours, we would have to show how we include people. Various cultures, various groups. They also want to see, are we educating the public? That would also get us some donations as well, or grants. And
We've got to make sure
big,
that symposium happens.
hey, there you go. There's a solid plan right there. There's also helping out. It's called the Green Program. If an organization helps with like public parks, state, city, county, even federal too, people will likely give donations, grants to our organization if we were to help out with such things too. Basically, people like to visit places that are green on this topic, trees, nature, Yosemite. I'm hearing someone going to, just hopefully there's not a volcano exploding in the middle of your thing, but that has to do with the what I heard on the news recently. But if we're doing something where we're helping out public land, then people will be willing to go ahead and hands off donations and grants. When we start taking in donations grants, it is recommended that we get a lawyer as well, because we may run into situations. There are laws that upgrade. There's laws that downgrade. There's laws that have where they have like an amendment. That's the word I'm trying to think of. So that's all the information I have on a very quick. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a question on anything too. But I'll go ahead and give a conclusion. So we're looking at anything that has to do with bringing in the community, including people, educating, and Operation Green programs as well. So, and that's it. I now yield the table back to. Thank you, everyone, for letting me present this. And Ethan, thanks for joining me on that one too.
Thank you for letting.
Thank you very much, Ethan and Chris, for doing that. And thank you to Athena. Chris just mentioned that we have to show how we are inclusive. We specifically wrote a brand new DEI statement to show our commitment to inclusivity, and Athena championed that and wrote us a great statement. So thank you for that again. Chris, that was actually much more interesting than I initially thought it was going to be. I thought it might be dry, but that was not dry. There's a lot of really, Sir Ita did a nature hike one time. Just show up Amp Garden, we're going to do a nature hike. And people drove from multiple hours away to do a hike. There was no buffers involved, no nothing. We went and touched grass. It was great. We had people that constantly do crafting sessions. We have people that do digital movie nights and in-person movie nights and game nights. There's so much that we can do to grow our community. And once we become a C3, there's going to be opportunities for funding that will allow us to help people not have to pay out of their own pockets to make these realities happen. So we're going to create positive relationships, and there's a lot of good that we can do. There's so many people that are like, no, let's just keep this as a fun, friendly little game. And that's fair, and that's valid, and that's real. But what we're doing here is just making it so that Ben and Chris and Andrew don't have to spend out of their own pocket to keep this fun and friendly game going.
I would also like to point out that one interesting thing that popped into my brain after the conversation that Barbara and I had with him was technically the Monterey County Park has a tractor history museum. And so we could try that angle of like upgrading that museum and the surrounding amenities as part of the larger work we're doing.
I've also heard it thrown around to fix up the Deanza building.
Andrew offered a bonus credit to people who picked up the most trash a couple weeks ago. That is awesome. I saw people get noticed at Dark Shore for picking up trash as well. Athena says our classes on crafting may count for education, but we can share information about actual medieval era information and how it ties to us. That could be good. Absolutely.
I don't know. That's starting to sound like the SCA.
Well, we're going to do it, but we're going to be cool and efficient. So there's that. And I'm probably scuppering myself for saying that on a recorded line. Hi, everybody. Anyways. Yes, 100%. I have my own nonprofit organization, and I hand out flyers on how to do homesteading. And it's just, finding a pathway to give positive information for free. Costco is known for I forgot that Theos is in here. Theos, why are you muted? Talk more. Yes, Costco is known for giving donations. There's lots of organizations that give yearly donations, and we'll be fighting for those funds. Absolutely.
Home Depot will give donations for things.
There we go. There we go.
Home.
Okay, guys, we still have to wait for the 501c3 paperwork to get through before you can start drooling over the options.
Ethan, can you say that one more time? You were a little staticky and I apologize.
Sorry, I was saying, guys, we have to actually wait for the paperwork to get through before we start drooling over all the things we can do with it.
Yes, 100%. There's nothing that we can do at this moment. We could be proactively informative. I don't recommend it. That sounds like work. All right. Chris, that was actually great. I would like to request that any more information you can get from the Sacramento History Museum on how to do outreach. I'd like to see a follow-up before the end of the year. That was actually really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, everyone. I got to step out to the crew meeting. So secretary's going to be stepping out. Take care and have a good night, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Be safe. Thanks, Chris.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's get a financial update for July from either the outgoing prime minister, incoming prime minister, or the treasurer with the transition, the purchase of the trailer. I just want to get a financial update online. Specifically, how bad of a loss are we operating at for 2024 at the moment?
Yeah, Pin, you've got all this data already, right? No. So pasting the current balance in the chat. It is off by 3 cents that I will fix.
All right, that's it.
When
You're
I
not-
go into Wells Fargo to file the out, or I don't know if I actually need to go to Wells Fargo or not, but it makes sense that I was planning to take the form there if need be. And also deposit that cash. The cash that we have there is the remnants of Nimir's Sanctum. We could keep it as cash for another event, or we can put it into the bank.
I do believe that we need to keep that separate from the rest of the money for, was it 2 years, the corpora says?
It's been a year.
Okay.
As long as we earmark the Nimir Sanctum funds, that's what's important.
So Namir's has already been defunct for long enough that I do not believe we need to separate it more.
Has it been a year? Has it been 2 years?
It has been 2 years
Dark.
as of the 5th of July.
Oh, well, in that case, then toss it into the general fund. Can we get a
Sorry, 5th
confirmation
of June.
from any? All right, well, if the monarch says it's been that, I'm just going to say seconded because we don't need that.
And we already terminated their contracts last month, didn't we?
Yep.
Was that
Yes,
Aureus
that is correct.
Saltus?
We terminated Namir's last month. We terminated Aureus Saltus in, it was April, I believe.
Yes.
Just to CYA, can we get a confirmation of exactly how long they've been defunct? That way it's not too early to move the funds over.
It was 5th of June, 2022 was the last time they had a credit in the org.
Okay. Sounds good.
Are there any other questions on the balance sheet here? This does reflect after the trailer. Some money went. So some of the money from Dark Shore went to the trailer. Some of the money went to general. Some of it went to the Dark Shore account. So that is why we are where we are.
So I believe the profit we turned from Dark Shore this year was roughly $4,000. We spent $5,000 on a trailer. Obviously, there's been some other miscellaneous funds here and there, but we're operating.
So did the money get balanced between Feast and Dark Shore?
It was balanced between general funds and Dark Shore, specifically 2,500 to Dark Shore, and
okay. My understanding from the all thing is that we said that Dark Shore was paying half and Feast was paying half. So we just have to move the money from Dark Shore.
You guys are talking about two different
general
things. You're talking about two different things. James is talking about the distribution of the profits we had from Dark Shore.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the trailer.
Yeah. Whereas the trailer funding comes out of the two accounts. Yes. Equal.
So basically, we've already taken it out from the Dark Shore half, and the next operation is going to be taking it out from the Feast of Gods half.
it could be. At the moment, it's all been out of the general funds. If we want to have Feast of Gods pitch in some of that, we can do that.
Yes, the old thing was
believe
that
the all
2,500
thing-
from each account would cover the
Was it?
cost.
All right. That's
Yes.
not a mistake. All right.
So however that money needs to work that way.
Yep, I can do that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I motion for the finance individuals to update the funds and allocate them as necessary for the payment of the trailer so that the charges are disseminated between the accounts of Dark Shore and the accounts of Feast of the Gods. May I request a second?
I will second that.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Obviously, again, this verbiage is just made so that it's recorded and everybody knows what's going on. Transparency is the #1 important thing we need to do so that everybody knows what's going on and give their unique opinions on what we do. All right. Does anybody have any questions about the financial update? It looks like Namir Sanctum's funds have been put into the general fund and no longer need to be earmarked. Is that correct? It has been
As soon as I get to the bank, yes.
perfect. So that will be taken care of eventually. So I'll put and eventually. That's fine. All right.
A motion to close this item.
Seconded. All right. The SOP or FAQ on what the Westmarch BoD wants from audits moving forward. This is Milan reminding himself he needs to do this. I'm reminding myself again. I apologize. Fine. But I haven't gotten to that yet. It's on the list, and I'm going to put it on next month's list to make sure I get to it, and I apologize.
I move to table this item until next month.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Termination of contract for Namir's Sanctum. Just like with Aureus Saltis, has this been completed?
I believe last month we determined all we needed to do was vote and say yes. We did that last month. So as a result, I believe we have no further items we need to do.
Can we review last month's minutes and have that on there?
I don't know. We already voted yes on those.
I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm looking at it right now. One sec.
They don't show up on the org anymore because, or at least not easily on the org. They got marked as inactive.
Their last, as per the notes from last month, the last credit was June of 2022 for Namir Sanctum. We voted yes to terminate it.
Cool.
Athena made
Also,
a funny joke and we
yes.
all laughed. That's important.
That's important.
Yes.
Definitely
I
can't repeat
motion
it.
that this item was closed last month.
Perfect. Thank you very
Second.
much for that.
Feast of Gods money is now transferred.
Thank you.
James, you are a gem. Whoever has to follow up your expertise and excellence is just going to have a tough time.
Sorry,
Uh,
Liz.
Oh, they're here. My bad. Okay. Anyways. All right. Motion to move on from the termination of contract for Namir Sanctum.
Yes.
Wonderful. There is a Prime Minister conversation that Ben brought up, and it expanded quite swiftly. And here's the question that was posed. The question was, can we have a board of directors, one meeting that includes the changing of the minutes? Would we like to attempt to do that in one meeting, or are the two separate meetings okay?
I don't understand the
Give me 1
question.
minute.
We had to have a special meeting for the Wells Fargo changeover. Would we like to complete that in one meeting moving forward, or is the two meetings better?
The two meetings is
I've been
better.
fine with it being the two meetings. It's like a 5-minute, 10-minute thing. It's fine.
The two meetings is better, we found in the past, because it we have to actually submit the meetings or the minutes for the meeting that we did it to Wells Fargo. And so in order to avoid submitting a whole huge all of these minutes right here, it's easy to just have the 5-minute meeting, close that, and then submit only that 5-minute meeting minutes.
And if we're going to combine the minutes on that meeting, I definitely don't want Milan writing those notes.
Yeah, that would be a little sketchy.
Agreed.
Can be serious when it's necessary.
My
Okay.
issue is that I'm not sure what your threshold is for necessary.
It's quite high. Um, now, here is the additional question that was brought up by this prime minister conversation. This is a far-reaching conversation. This is not a conversation that probably is under the BoD purview. I think it is. Should we find a pathway to discuss the term limits of the Westmarch prime minister? Do we want to discuss changing that from 6 months to a year?
Bring it up as an holding. It requires
Even-
it requires a corpora change, which would be a 2/3 vote overall. Anybody can write up and submit that holding, with a rationale. I have a lovely little form. You all can submit it. Somebody else wants to type that up, and we can totally submit it as an holding.
I would recommend polling the populace first because I have a strong suspicion that changing the terms for officers would not be met well.
It hasn't been met well in the past.
All right. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a horse in the race either way. I am the individual that said, why don't we just make this a year and just not have to deal with it except for once a year?
For banking purposes, there is good logic behind it, but most people
And
aren't
also
as crazy as I am.
for rules rep purposes of not having the individual in charge of making those decisions change every month.
The prime minister doesn't really focus on handing out
Oh,
awards.
I was
Prime
talking
Minister-
about both because I wasn't going to separate out the prime minister from the other monarchy officers' terms.
Certainly. I was definitely just discussing the prime minister here. But I get the point there, but because the prime minister isn't involved in knighting, isn't involved in Paragon or any or other awards of that nature, the convenience of doing a year could potentially have value.
So the real truth on that is we can have a prime minister for a year. In fact, as we've all just witnessed, Thistledown was prime minister for a year. And if Thistledown really, really wanted to, we could actually make him go for another term if the populace approved. So I mean, it's the ability to have a prime minister be for a full year exists, and even longer, but making it the default, I don't think is necessarily a good choice.
I agree.
Being
I-
prime minister
I
for
think
6
this is
months
a-
is a long time.
I'm going to say, I think this is a much larger conversation than just the BoD. So again, if we wanted to have this conversation, we should have the conversation with the whole populace, and then we can put it in an holding proposal and see if we can get 2/3 majority to approve it.
While it's
I'm-
possible to put in that measure, I do not see it getting any traction.
After
I
what
motion to
Ant-
close this topic.
I agree on that. And I think the conversation that we've just had really states, I mean, Andrew put it succinctly, we can have somebody for a year quite easily and even longer if necessary. So yeah, thank you for entertaining me on that question. All right, before we get to step 11, does anybody have any additional topics they would like to bring up that are not on the itinerary?
I mean, I feel like keeping this as a 12-step process is gonna keep us all sane.
That sounds perfectly fine. Although we have step 12 scheduled, for some reason I put step 12 adjournment. So the 12-step program it is. All right, we're going to go to number 11, and that is forecast 2025. As stated at the very beginning of the meeting, we are on the crescendo of the year. We are
What are
looking-
we at having a new fiscal year in September?
I suppose we could say that as an academic year. But anyways, what we're looking at is in 2025, which is a short period away, August, September, October, December, we need to start thinking about what do we want to accomplish with this group before the end of the year. We want to start thinking about who do we want to entice. Thank you, accountant, for speaking up. Yes, I appreciate that. For those who don't know, Royce is Theos. Theos was integral in getting the trailer for Westmarch and also was helpful with the 501c3 documentation. Thank you very much for being a part of this meeting. And individuals such as Royce is a part of this. For Forecast 2025, Who is going to be on the board of directors in 2025? Who is going to serve in certain positions in 2025? And what do people want to accomplish before December? Start thinking of those projects now. Does anybody have anything that they want to focus on as a group before the end of the year?
I mean, I'm currently working with the location research group. I would love if we could actually have real options that we have full quotes and estimates for, you know, by the end of the year. You know, maybe what would be incredible is 6, okay, these could possibly happen quotes by end of the year.
I think that's amazing. There's plenty of places that have a flat fee for rental, and if we could get the nuances listed, and be like, this is an option that we have year round, that would be incredible. And I know that individuals are currently working on that Renaissance Festival in Northern California, so that is something that we are doing. Athena, are you involved in that at all?
For the Renaissance, no. Funnily, I am looking at all Renaissance fairs in the nearby area of states and making a note of their locations for potential options, but I hadn't heard of one that we're working on currently.
In the Fresno area, that some cross gamers over here are working on in November.
I think that's the one. Ben, can you get that information to Athena? And if not, I'll add Athena.
Yeah, about the Fresno one. Yeah, I'll get that to Athena.
Perfect. Athena, they're talking on Discord about it. And we actually just got an insurance quote for that festival. And the Renaissance Festival may refund our insurance that we need if we participate. That's kind of cool.
Ooh.
Yep. Let's see. We got
So-
another message here. Shut up, Ben. Okay.
I would like to jump in and say the big thing I've been pushing for on this one is with the 501c3 update, we will potentially be getting we are planning to get new corporate bylaws, which is a pretty large overhaul. In addition, we are overhauling the Corpora in order to, be legal and comply with the new bylaws as well. So those are the kind of big goals I'm pushing for that will ultimately finish our transition over to a 501c3.
Wonderful. Here are the AmpGuard Kingdom of Westmarch bylaws. They are as bland as they possibly could be, and they are all about getting an update. So absolutely, that's something we can definitely work on.
Do we have to have an all thing approve those?
So the bylaws are actually in the proposed Corpora, they are explicitly called out as bylaws or whatever their final name will be. So the Corpora will just basically say the BoD is operating as per the bylaws, which is the corporation stuff. So that goes in as part of the proposed Corporas. If the proposed Corpora doesn't pass, we definitely have to add them to our current Corpora, just to say
that was
this
what I
information-
needed.
yeah.
If we needed to make that into effect now.
well, we're not a 501c3 yet.
Tragically, we are in the hurry up and wait section. The 6 months was kind of annoying, but at the end of the day, 6 months isn't a lot. We have a lot of other things we need to focus on.
But it would be nice to have this in place when that does kick through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have lots of time to work on it. This is what is going to be approved as long as they don't send back our application with needs additional work. And once this is approved, then we can edit it to our heart's content. For 2025, that will mark the second year of my tenure as president of the Westmarch BoD. I'm going to not run in 2025. I am going to encourage other people to become part of the BoD for 2025. I'm looking at you, Royce. I'm looking at you, Alex. I'm looking at Alan, who is no longer in the meeting, but hopefully will listen this far. There's
I
lots
would
of
look at Dagger, who's
I'm also-
at almost every meeting except this one.
Frankie
and I have a
should
few-
absolutely be a part of this.
I also have a few other people who've expressed interest, but they're expressing extreme hesitance due to us not having director's liability insurance.
Yeah, that is something we're going to have to eventually discuss, and I will admit freely that it's been on the back burner for me.
But it might
you-
be another thing that we want to look at.
How
Because-
much would we expect that to cost?
So rough order, I know other kingdoms budget between $3,000 and $4,000 for it, but we have not looked in ourselves.
We have like 2 years ago
What did it cost?
that we never got an answer. That was how long it took to get with a few different insurance companies that the officer, I don't even remember who it was now, sadly, that was looking at it. It didn't
it was
finish
Allura.
within, that sounds about right. It didn't get finished within her term as a BOD member.
For the ignorant such as myself, what does this insurance do?
Basically covers the officers, us sitting here on the board of directors, from being liable for any mistakes that we make that cost money, if that makes sense. I mean, it does
Okay.
more than that, but that's the real thing that, I mean, it's honestly reasonable for people to be like, hey, I don't want to be liable for, mistakenly insulting somebody like Milan does all the time and somebody getting sued.
That's also
mean-
part of the reason why in the upcoming corpora that Ethan said that the members, that the populace are not statutory members of the Kingdom of Westmarch.
If we can find a way to protect ourselves in the verbiage of the bylaws and the articles of incorporation, that would be amazing. I do not have the professional capacity to know what that needs to be at this point in time. I will tell you from a personal point, this year I was I can't think of the right phrase for it, but a case was opened against me for something that two other people did that I had nothing involved with, but I was in a position of leadership. And so they tried to stick it on me. And that happens. So there is a potential reason for looking at insurance, unfortunately.
The other big one, and this is the reason that other kingdoms do it, is there's a couple of different factors. One of them is that in some other kingdoms, the BOD reviews bans because you're also banned from the corporation. Or even just if somebody wanted to come after Westmarch for a ban or something like that, they would go after the corporation because the corporation is the entity with money, or they would go after a representative, aka the monarch, because again, they're the person who's representing the corporation. And so this would provide the insurance, which basically just means when they sue, the insurance company provides the lawyer and we don't have to provide it out of our own pocket, is the idea.
Well, should we add that to Royce, speak up. Let's get you off mute. Give the
Okay,
example.
so in my actual profession, if like you don't pay your sales tax, if say the corporation doesn't, they will push that liability off onto positions of power, the board of directors, the CFO, and those people within it. So it protects you from tax liability to a point too.
Obviously, that's much more focused than what we normally deal with, but the liability is a real thing. Royce, in your experience, and Royce works in a very professional field, and I'm not going to give personal information about him, but is that something we can, I'm going to say litigate, not use the right phrase for it, but legislate? Is that something we can legislate into our bylaws to protect us, or is insurance something we should strongly look at?
I mean, honestly, we've talked about the sales tax thing a bunch of times. It's not going to happen for Westmarch, but it's just a very specific example I could give because I literally just saw that today at work. But those types of insurance protect the directors from things like that. It's not just necessarily like an AmpGuard specific example was the guy years ago with the trademark that did all of that because he was mad about stuff.
Yep. I had a frivolous slap suit this year, so I completely understand that being a real concern.
And if we wanted to do it, it would probably be something that has to go into our bylaws and our corpora because of the weird way we do funding right now, which is really wonky. But like, for example, Nine Blades in their corpora, the way they handle it is they say they get, the board of directors gets the quote for that year's liability insurance, and then every land owes a percentage of that. So like every shire owes 5%, every barony owes 20%, things like that. And that's the way they fund it, is they don't just put it like in their standard budget. it's different ways to look at it in a lot of different ways, and how to fund it would be a much larger conversation with the kingdom.
One other thing that could be done potentially is to put in the waiver, because the waiver has a hold harmless clause, that the board, that AmpGuard and the board is jointly and separately not liable, whatever the legal term is, I don't remember it.
That's an interesting take I hadn't thought of. Yeah.
I know in the past when it got looked at and then didn't get finished, one of the things we were looking at the same time was bundling it with liability insurance for events and even park days, because that was a way to defray the cost over a larger section, because getting just D&O insurance is one cost, but then adding on the liability wasn't terribly much more. That was one way we were looking at to like sell it as a more beneficial thing for everybody, the whole kingdom.
That's actually brilliant, Andy. I'm going to ask that about if we can get a bundled insurance for Dark Shore, Feast of the Gods, and BOD liability, and anything else that we want to potentially add.
Or even just general parks. Like if we don't necessarily bundle with Feast of Gods and Dark Shore and still let them have their own independent insurance because they're a bit special, but just like a general, like technically we're running a sports day, 19 locations every weekend.
It wasn't like terribly hard to do both when we looked at it, but once again, it didn't get finished. So
yeah,
Raven, do you
I
remember
know
on that?
Allura's still around and we could reach back out to them for more information, I guess.
So this seems like an item for liability insurance research, but I'm noting that that is going to Milan. Milan, how many items do you have to do so far?
I'm gonna take care of this one.
Okay.
Which one?
The direct D&O liability insurance.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that very much, Athena, for bringing that up. That's very kind of you.
I'll investigate a couple different sources and figure out what kind of money we'd be looking at for it.
Yeah, do we have
Awesome.
anything else about this topic?
No. Is there anything else that people want to talk about that they would like to have as a goal to get completed as a group before the end of 2024? That silence, please feel free to message me or start the conversation in the Discord. I want to get that on everybody's mind so that we can work together as a group. Yeah.
Item 11 says forecast 25. Are we talking about 24 or 25 here?
The forecast for 2025 is coming up. So is there anything we want to complete in 2024 before 2025 gets here?
Gotcha. Thanks for the clarification.
Perfect. And for other individuals that are listening to this or are in this meeting right now, think about if you'd like to be a part of the board of directors. I hope that you do. There's a lot of good that we do every year and every month. And there's a lot of important topics that we do cover. And we need good people, and we need more than just the minimum. All right. With that, we're going to go on to the August schedule for the board of directors meeting. This is the last thing that we do before we adjourn the meeting. Does anybody have anything against a specific date? Is there a date that does or does not work for everybody?
Tuesdays generally.
How is Wednesday, August 28th, a month from basically today? Or Wednesday, August 21st?
21st sounds good to me.
21st sounds better to me because, well, I won't be here. Never mind.
Aw.
Aw,
Well, now it sounds bad.
I'm okay
You
for
could
both.
still come.
Okay, now I'm really laughing out loud. I'm still here.
Jody, talk.
I was laughing. I have nothing to say. I'm not on the BOD. I'm just hanging around.
Well,
I like having my Wednesdays open for some Belagarth practice, but yeah, I'm happy to give one up.
We can do a Thursday.
We're cooler than Belagarth.
Sorry, Ben. Looks like you might be giving up a Wednesday. Are you okay with that?
That's fine.
We could also do a Monday, Thursday.
Wednesday is
we have-
probably a good time for everyone, it seems.
Thursday
What's-
is more convenient on my end unless anyone else has scheduling issues.
I have lots of scheduling issues on every Thursday, sadly.
Okay. What about a Monday?
You know, if we wanted to do the 26th,
Mondays.
Ken is saying they can't do
Liz.
Mondays.
Okay, Wednesday it is.
Yay.
Is there anybody that it's going to be difficult for Wednesday, August 21st besides our liaison? All right.
I might be celebrating Little Monkey's 22nd birthday, but since I'm not a member of the BOD, that's not important.
That's all right. I'm going to close out the chat from the record window. I'll pull it up if anybody chats anything else. Before we get to the adjournment, I would like to give a shout out to Ethan and James and Andrew and Ben and Athena and everybody else that helped with the trailer. At this point in time, we mentioned it last meeting, but it's kind of settled in. That's a really big step as a nonprofit organization, and it's a really responsible thing to do. And I hope that we start to keep a really good inventory. And I've already heard chatter from individuals within the kingdom about what they want to do to put in the trailer. We have spurned arts and science projects because of what this has done. There will be future conversations about fundraising with the trailer, which we talked about in June, and we will talk about that again before the end of the year. All right, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Seconded.
All right,
Wait, did you set a time for the meeting on the 21st?
6:30 p.m. is what we normally do. I apologize, I did not bring it up since we have new people in the meeting. Is 6:30 p.m. acceptable Pacific Standard Time?
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay. We can always discuss changing the time if necessary in the future. Do I have a motion to end the meeting?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
seconded.